I mean, it does. It's a thumbnail that everybody in the world will see.
Well, it's not that. It's not that many people.
You ready? You bring it in. I got the what's up part first.
Should I put this right
Ready?
here? Yeah. Wait, but that's your thing. You bring in the what's up.
I know, but I don't like it to only be my thing. I like for you to do it sometimes too.
Okay.
We've had this conversation, remember? When you said, it kind of sucks that I'm not at the beginning of any of those. And I was like, okay, you should do it more often. And then now you're like, that's not my thing to do.
Because it's always pretty much.
Ready? It's your thing. Wait, no, hold on. I'm sorry. Hey, Liz! Can you close the door up there?
I was so confused why he was on his phone like the whole entire time while we were talking. I was very confused.
Yeah.
And then I realized that he was on simple note, writing all of the stuff down.
Which we never used.
Why would we need to use it? Like, why? What would we have to use it for?
No. Ready?
So,
Ready?
so yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation. I'm Brent. No, I'm Lane.
What episode is it?
Episode
Do you want to start over?
31.
Let's start
Yeah.
over.
I said, I'm used to I'm Brandon, I'm Lane. So I said that I was Brandon.
Yeah. Don't forget the episode number. Ready?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation, episode 31. I'm Lane.
And I'm Brandon.
And WrestleMania was last week, right?
It was. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about what we liked and disliked. And then we're going to give who got the most predictions correct.
Yeah.
What else do we have to talk about this week?
We also have some Shimu
Shimu!
news.
There's Shimu news. Why? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I need to start over again. For some reason, this is super quiet. It was the same way when we recorded the wrestling podcast, too.
Like, play. What's up, everybody? Welcome to
It's super quiet. I think this was turned down. Was the problem.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I
Just
didn't
talk
wanna,
real quick.
I guess I will.
Yeah.
Test, test, test. Yes. See, that is what it is supposed to look like.
That's
Okay. I just didn't want to go the whole show and then it'd be that way again because I had to boost the audio for everything last week and it was kind of a pain in the butt. So
It wouldn't be that hard though. Because
let's start over.
you just gotta like just
Ready?
little clips.
Ready?
Okay.
If you want to fix your mustache before we go on the air, you can. Ready? I told you. See, you should. I said fix your mustache
I know.
before, not once I hit record.
But I was getting the one stuff off of my face. I'm not doing that.
Ready?
Okay. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Howdy Radio, the next generation, episode 31. I'm Lane,
I'm Brandon.
and WrestleMania was last week.
Yeah, so we got to go over who got the most right on our scorecards, and we'll just kind of give a general little review of
Yeah.
it. We already talked about it. Well, me and Taggart talked about it for an hour and a half over on the Unknown Wrestling podcast, but
Yeah.
but you and I still have to give our WrestleMania wrap up on Howdy Radio.
Yep.
What else?
We got Shimmy news.
Shinmu news. That's probably the best part about this episode. So
Yeah.
we'll get there here in a little bit. Anything else? What else? What else happened this week? Anything fun happened this week?
Had some soccer.
Soccer started this week.
It's really it.
You had a game yesterday in the rain,
Yeah.
because that's what spring soccer is, cold
Which
and
is
wet.
awesome.
Ah,
You guys might not like it, but I do.
yeah, I know you do. I mean, I don't mind
Me
it.
and Tyler like it a lot.
Yeah,
I
can
didn't really
see
get
how
to
it
play
would-
in the rain too much because
Yeah, it was weird
most
the way
of the time
the
when
rain
I
went.
was most of the time when it was raining, I wasn't in the game yet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So yesterday was your second game of the
Yes.
season. Well, who won the first game?
Us.
And what was the score of the first game?
10-0.
Jesus, I didn't realize it was quite that much. Second game was yesterday morning.
And we won 4-3.
4-3. I had messed up something. My counts were messed up. I thought the game was ending in a tie. Like I actually, like when it was, you assisted the last goal of the game, and for some reason in my head that was the game tying goal.
Yeah.
But I had messed it up, and then like once it was over, like you guys were like super excited. Like once the whistle blew at the end, and I was like, why are they so excited that they won in a tie? And then like automatically I realized like, well, my counts obviously had to have been wrong.
It was a little bit confusing. I think there was like one goal that it looked like a goal, but it wasn't from like the sidelines.
Could have been something like that, yeah.
But when I was on the field, I was like, no, it's not a goal.
Yeah. So that's cool. So, so everybody got pretty wet yesterday during the game. Yeah. And that'll probably continue to happen all season long.
Yep. As it's pouring outside right now.
It is. It's pouring right now. So what else? Soccer this week? Anything else?
Not really. Nothing really else at all.
Gotcha. Had we mentioned the Cincinnati Gardens on the show before? I think we have, right?
We have.
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, we were talking about like that they were tearing it down.
Yeah.
So as of this week, the building is officially torn down. So I'll link some pictures and videos on my Instagram and the show notes of this one so you can check it out because I've been taking pictures of everything. I went down, it was Monday morning, the morning after WrestleMania. I went down there because I knew that they were starting to tear down the very front of the building, which was all that was left at that point. And I finally got lucky and finally got some workers that were there when I was there, because all the other times I've gone to take pictures, it's been, I guess, after the workers have been gone for the most part.
Yeah.
So this time I had Monday morning off. So I was like, if I go down Monday morning, they'll probably be there Monday morning. And so I finally got to talk to one and ask the guy to give me some bricks. And I got 5 really nice, fully intact bricks that came from the very front of the building, which makes it even cooler. Yeah. So I was so happy that I finally got those. Gave one to my buddy and given one to Liz's dad. And then that leaves 3 for myself. I think I'll keep 3 for myself.
Get the bricks?
The bricks, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you not given them already?
I gave Lee his already, but I haven't seen Liz's
when you
dad.
went to watch Under the Giant.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's throw that Andre the Giant movie in there when we start talking about WrestleMania too. So I got 3 bricks left. I offered my buddy Dave one. He said he didn't want one, so I was like, oh well, screw you then. I'll just keep the 3 for myself. I think I'd like to have 3 for myself. That'd be cool. All right, so I don't think really much else went on this week.
Yeah,
Pretty boring week. So let's just let's get into Mania.
Yep.
We also learned during the first episode of the Unknown Wrestling podcast that we didn't have any good outros or way to end that either. The end of the show was so terrible.
What was it?
It was like, okay, yeah, bye. It was something along those lines. It's like we gotta definitely figure out like a sign off, like, see you next week, wrestling fan. I don't know, something.
You should call everybody Hulkamaniacs.
Yeah.
Like, see you next episode.
What's up, everybody?
That's so weird hearing me say what's up. That is so weird. I'm not used to that.
Okay, so let's do we want to just go straight down the scorecard
Yeah.
regardless of main event or not?
Yeah, just go straight through.
Because if we do that, then the main event is at the end of the first page, and then there's still like 4 more matches before the main
just
event.
do this one first.
Start with the second page,
Yeah,
and then
that's what like the first ones
okay.
were.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we'll
This
start.
is
with
about besides like 205 and the Battle Royales.
But yeah, that makes a no.
Oh.
Do you have your winners marked that you picked correctly?
I just know who won.
Okay. Here, circle them real quick. Circle the ones that you got correct.
Once I got correct.
Yes. Like I have them on here. Like I have mine. I circled the ones that win. I did pretty terrible, so I would assume that you probably beat me, but maybe not.
How many points did you get?
Points, I got 109.
Okay, I already did.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I did Halo Brothers WrestleMania. I did off. Yeah, I got 3 winners right.
I got 5. So I won.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, because I felt like they did not make it that predictable this year.
No, which I mean isn't a bad thing.
I know,
Well,
but
let's
like
talk about that on the air.
I know.
Ready? Alright, you want to bring this one in too?
Well, I already brought the other one in, so
So?
you got this one.
Alright. Alright, last week was our 2nd annual Howdy Radio, the Next Generation WrestleMania Prediction Spectacular. So that makes this week our 2nd annual Howdy Radio, the Next Generation WrestleMania Result Extravaganza. Is what that is.
Yes.
Alright, so Mania was last Sunday. We talked all about it over on the Unknown Wrestling Podcast, but me and Lane have to compare who got the most right and wrong here. But before we kind of dive into that, WrestleMania as a whole, what'd you think? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it?
It was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't like better than some of the past years.
Yeah. Not as bad as some of the past years either.
Yeah, like not as bad as like last year and stuff.
Last couple of years.
Yeah, but it was okay.
Yeah.
It was there was some really for the matches that were good and people actually cared about. Those were the good matches.
Yeah.
Like those were actually like good technical matches.
WrestleMania's problem is that it is too long now. They put on a 7-hour show, and even minus the 2-hour pre-show, just say the 5-hour show. That's too long.
Yeah.
And it makes it to where there's too many matches that nobody cares about. Or at least we don't care about. Maybe other people do, but we don't. I don't. So if they took that 5 hours and they took it down to 3 hours and they took out those crappy matches, I think it could have been a really good show.
Yeah.
If they would have kind of rearranged kind of where some of the matches fell on the
Most of
card.
the like title matches were
Yeah.
really the only good ones.
Yeah, and the Rousey fight.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. My opinion
That should have been the main event.
It's too long, and because of that, there's too much filler, and that makes you tired of watching it. And I don't understand how they can't comprehend that. That doesn't make sense to me. But it's WWE. They're going to keep doing whatever stupid stuff they want to do. So, out of 10, what would you give it?
Like
10 being the highest because it's the highest.
like maybe a 7, maybe a 6 or a 7.
That's me and Taggart agreed on the Unknown Wrestling Podcast. We both gave it a 6.
Oh, okay.
That's where we were with it. So but I was like 5, 6, even 7, like maybe
Like
somewhere
last
in
year
there.
was like a freaking 3. Like last year was
Yeah.
awful.
So other than WrestleMania, before we get into our results here, other than WrestleMania, we watched a bunch of wrestling that weekend. Not
You
quite
know,
as much
last
as
year was that Shane versus Undertaker? Was that last year?
yeah, I think so.
That was a good match. That would be giving it a 3 for last year.
Yeah. All right. So of the other stuff that we watched WrestleMania weekend, what did you like? Did you enjoy watching the other stuff?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Like Shimmer was like cool,
Yeah.
but like it got kind of annoying after a while.
Okay.
But there was the Lucha Underground stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah.
We watched Scott Steiner win an OS hold.
Yeah, that was stupid. To me, hands down, the best show of the weekend was the NXT show.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
I mean, I know that.
That
I mean,
main
that's still
event, that
technically
main event was
yeah,
awesome.
and same with the ladder match too. I mean, I know that technically that's just a WWE show, but I mean, it's kind of not, but it is.
What's the ladder match? The one with
The very first match was the ladder
Okay,
match. Yeah, that was. So I mean, I kind of thought like maybe the Lucha Underground show or whatever would be the best show of the weekend, but NXT, hands down, stole the weekend with, I mean, no questions about it whatsoever. That was one of the best wrestling cards I have seen in a very, very, very long time. So I got to start keeping up with NXT better. I've been saying that for a little while. That pay-per-view, that was.
But don't worry, the commentators still suck.
Well, WWE doesn't hire good commentators at this
I thought
point.
sometimes you just gotta mute
They're so
stuff.
terrible.
You just gotta mute stuff
Every
and put
person
promos.
on every show sucks. Every single one of them. There is no exception. All right, so let's blow through this real quick. I don't want to give like a full review of each show or whatever, but I do want to. We don't have time for that, right? So let's go through each match and say who we had picked and who actually won.
Yeah.
So let's start. We're using our scorecards from at PW Scorecards, and we're going to just roll through this. So they're not in order of which they happened exactly, but whatever.
Yeah.
So the first match on our card here was the Women's Battle Royal. I had picked Sasha Banks to win.
I had also picked Sasha Banks.
And the winner was Naomi.
Yes.
So neither one of us got that correct. I mean, that wasn't a terrible match.
Yeah.
It was a Battle Royal. So, Men's Battle Royal, I had picked Matt Hardy.
I had picked Dolph Ziggler.
So this was one that I got right. Matt Hardy did win.
And also, that's what Taggart also got last
Yeah.
week.
We're not going to discuss Taggart on this show because we already discussed his on Unknown Wrestling. And he won by so much that I don't even want to say his name. He killed us.
Get everything?
No, I mean, he had like 160 points.
Jesus.
Or wait, hold on. His card
Did he
was,
win all the money?
Yeah, he won the money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely beat all of us.
I
So
should have just said I didn't have $5.
then you would have been upset if you would have won. All right, so the next up on this card is the mixed tag match. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Steph McMahon. I had picked Angle and Rousey.
I had also picked Angle and Rousey.
Did you?
Yeah.
What is?
K and R. Kurt and Ronda.
Oh, Kurt and Ronda. Okay. So we both got that one correct.
What did you think?
I
it
don't know.
said?
My brain just couldn't comprehend what that had to do with anything. So we both picked that one correct.
Just like how down here, Kevin and Sammy.
Okay, I got you.
K&S.
All right, I got you. So this one earned my Match of the Night
Yes.
award, which really surprised me because, I mean, we didn't really know what to expect out of Ronda Rousey. I think she did a pretty good job. I didn't know what to expect out of Kurt Angle. I mean, though there was a lot of factors in this thing that could have made it a bad match, but I mean, it wasn't the best wrestling match in the world or anything. Like, it wasn't like a good wrestling match like the NXT wrestling matches were.
But it was
highly entertaining.
Yes.
It was hands down the most entertaining
you
match on the
watched
card.
Ronda Rousey beat up Steph and Trips.
And
That was the best part.
Yeah. So that surprisingly to myself even, that is what I give Match of the Night to, is that match. All right, so next up was the return of Daniel Bryan, Hellman Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Who'd you pick?
I picked Kevin and Sam.
And I picked Owens and Zayn, which is
The opposite.
No, it's the same.
Oh, wait, no, it's the same, but it's the opposite.
We're using the
names.
first and last names,
Yes.
is what confused me. But Daniel Bryan and Shane won, so neither one of us got
Yes.
anything for that.
And then right after that, on Raw the next night, they fought each other, Sammy and Kevin, for a spot
Yeah.
on the Raw roster,
Yeah.
and neither of them won.
Gotcha.
And also, the Superstar Shake-Up is this week.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Alright.
we're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to watch it on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the cruiserweight match, which was Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. This was also a part of the pre-show. I had Cedric Alexander,
Same.
and we both got that one right.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to start from that.
Yeah.
I got 4 overall.
Oh, spoiler alert. So, the next up was the tag team triple threat match, the Usos versus the New Day versus the Bludgeon Brothers. I had the Usos.
Same.
I don't remember who won.
Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's obviously who we should have picked. So we both got that one wrong. Next up, Randy Orton versus Bobby Roode versus Jinder Mahal versus Rusev. 4-way for the U.S. title. I had Bobby Roode.
I had Randy.
And the winner was Jinder Mahal.
Yes.
Neither one of us got that one right. The next one was for the
I
Smack.
only have 3 ones for all of them that are in double digits.
Yeah, yeah, not our best
So
scorecards.
sad.
The next one was for the SmackDown Women's title, Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. This was the one that Lane predicted to be match of the night. Did it hold up to that? I mean, it did not, because you're also agreeing with me
Yeah.
about the Rousey match.
It was second best match of the night.
Okay.
It was a really good match.
Yeah, I think I agree with
But-
that. Second best match of the night. But it was too early on the card. It was second on the card, and it should have been considerably later. Yes, it was the second match on the pay-per-view. It was too early in the card. So we both had Asuka picked. We both thought that she would not lose her undefeated title or her undefeated streak, and that she would win the title, but that did not happen. Charlotte won.
Yeah.
Which I was okay with. Like, I mean, Asuka had a really good run at being undefeated.
914 days.
Yeah, so, and if you're going to lose an awesome undefeated streak like that, you should lose it to the champ at WrestleMania. So that's fine.
And it being Charlotte.
Yeah,
And she's
and,
like really good and
And then they blew it all to crap the next 2 nights later on SmackDown by having Charlotte lose to Carmella,
oh yeah,
which just
Carmella
completely cheapens.
cashing the Money in the Bank.
Just it completely screwed up the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
I can get on board with Charlotte beating Asuka, but being able to say that then Carmella beats, that's just the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
That's typical stupid WWE. Terrible booking. Terrible. Next up was also kind
Carmella
of,
should have cashed in her Money in the Bank there. If she was gonna cash it in there.
I guess. I think, whatever. It's stupid. The next up one we all thought was going to be pretty high on the match of the night list as well. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think I just said his name correct for the first time,
You
so I'm
did.
pretty happy about that. This match sucked, man.
It didn't.
I think it did. I don't think that anything really great happened in this match, other than Shinsuke's entrance. We were going to talk about this on Unknown Pod. We were supposed to say what we thought our favorite entrance of the night was, but we forgot to do that. So I'll throw it out here. Shinsuke's entrance into Mania was my favorite, with all the violin players and the guitarist and stuff. I thought it was super cool. Did you have a favorite entrance?
Not really.
Either that or Charlotte would have been.
Charlotte
her-
was the one that just copied off of Trips, right?
Uh-huh.
WrestleMania 30. Then
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And you know, at WrestleMania 30, when Triple H did
it was
that,
Charlotte and Sasha Banks.
was
So
off, yeah. So I thought it was really cool that
Yeah.
now she's
I
the
think that's
queen.
why
Yeah.
they did that publicly.
Yeah, definitely. But I thought that was really cool. So those two were my favorite entrances of the night. I don't know, man. This match was it was boring. I just, you take two guys that are two fantastic wrestlers and you put them late on in the Mania card, and everybody's bored and tired by then, and the two of them just, you know, they don't have a match like they had in Japan. They have a boring WWE match, and I was very disappointed by this match.
Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles had a better match on Tuesday,
Yeah.
right after.
Yeah, that's a shame. I had picked AJ Styles.
Same.
That's not what yours says.
No, I did not. I picked Shinsuke.
Yeah, so AJ Styles won, so I got that one right. Tag team match was Sheamus and Cesaro versus Braun Strowman and Question Mark. The question mark ended up being a 10-year-old that Braun Strowman went and picked out of the crowd, and then they won the tag team belts.
And then vacated it night after, saying that he was in only the 4th grade and he had school.
Yeah, so
But, and then he was like, in the summertime, we're coming back for the titles.
so did you like this angle?
What do you mean?
Like, did you enjoy the 10-year-old thing? Like, did you like?
It was funny. It was supposed to be one of those, hey, stay awake, guys.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's why they kept it. That's why they did that.
Yeah, I think.
But
it
then
was
it just transitioned into, oh,
a terrible
Grace
main
Royal
event.
Rumble, now we're gonna do this.
Yeah. So
That's what half of the card was.
yeah, I didn't like it. So
If
I
one
picked
person
Strowman.
lost, so then this other person could do better.
Yeah,
It's just so stupid.
very stupid. Who did you pick? And the
I
tag
picked
team.
Braun and Question Mark, which was
Yes,
Nicholas.
So did I. Nicholas was his name. Yes. Who I think we learned later
Was the ref's
the
son.
referee's son. Yeah. It was stupid. I thought it was very stupid. Intercontinental match: The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. I picked Finn Balor just because I really wanted him to win.
Yeah, same.
But of course he did not. Of course Seth Rollins won. That was another one that like I look at my scorecard and I'm like, duh.
Are you mad that Seth is?
I hate Seth Rollins. Yeah.
Why don't you like Seth?
I dislike him almost as much as I dislike Roman Reigns.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. But not quite. All right, women's Raw match was Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I had Alexa Bliss,
See.
and Nia Jax won.
Yes.
So that
That was the dumbest storyline ever.
It was. It
We'll
was
look
very.
for friends, but now you're stupid and fat. Now I'm gonna beat you up and win the titles.
Yeah, it was stupid.
But then next night, Ember Moon came out.
Yeah.
Now she's on main roster.
Yep. So then the main event of the evening was the world title, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. I had Roman Reigns winning.
I had Brock winning.
Everybody, the whole thing was that Brock. This is probably Brock's last match. He's going back to UFC. That didn't go over as well as I hoped it did. So Lesnar won. It was an absolutely terrible main event, just like we all expected that it would be. The crowd, what was the crowd chanting for a little while? This is awful or something like that. I mean, you can't.
Freaking Brock
It is your
said
main
the F word
event.
like 4 times during the match.
You just gotta really. I feel like if you're a company that's running a big wrestling show like this, the biggest wrestling show of the year, and during your main event, your crowd is chanting, "This is awful."
That's pretty
Like,
bad.
you need to rethink what you're putting on as your main event. But they're not going to because Brock Lesnar
Vince
ended
is
up
too old.
re-signing.
Vince
and
is too old. He can't hear the crowd.
yeah, I don't think it's all his fault though. I think a lot of the blame falls on Triple H and Stephanie and just the whole writing team at this point.
Mostly
Like,
just trips now. Steph doesn't have to do that much of writing anymore, does she?
no, but she's. I mean, she's.
I
a
think
huge,
Trips does a lot with it now.
Yeah, but I mean that neither one of them are writers.
Well,
but
yeah, I
of
know,
course
but they
have
make
to,
up the
But they of
storyline.
course have to approve everything that goes down. Terrible, 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 terrible main event. Just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
So that's all of them. So that gives me 5 matches out of 1,400 matches that happened at WrestleMania.
4. I got 4, right?
I got 5. Lane got 4. So we should have done a little bit of better homework here and looked up who won last year because I don't remember which of the two of us got the most picks correct last year.
I think I did last year.
I don't know, man.
I think I did.
I mean, I can't say one way or
How
another.
many did you get, 5?
I got 5. So I beat you by 1 this year.
Okay.
But as far as it goes with the prediction last week, Taggart definitely beat us. So he really is the champion of this whole thing. But between you and I won by 1. So it was a pretty close one.
Yeah.
But I mean, regardless, not the best WrestleMania in the world, not the worst. I mean, I still have fun. Like, I still enjoy all of us sitting down and watching it.
And for the first time in a while, we sat down here. We sat in the basement.
Yeah, we watched down the basement, which I enjoy. I liked it better down here, maybe. Not quite as big of a WrestleMania party as we've had in the past. Not quite as many people, but we had some good food. We made a taco bar that night for everybody, which was delicious. We had a ton of cookies and cake and everything. Like I thoroughly enjoy our WrestleMania parties. Like people look forward to their Super Bowl party every year, and like I look forward to our WrestleMania party every year. Not every Super Bowl is great.
That and Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble
as well,
definitely.
yes.
Royal Rumble is better than WrestleMania.
I agree.
Which is sad.
And I think it's because of the way that we.
And now we got greatest Royal Rumble in freaking Saudi Arabia.
50-man Royal Rumble coming up in Saudi Arabia, which we're not going to be able to watch because Tyler has a thing at school that night. So we'll have to watch it when we get home and attempt to avoid spoilers.
Well,
yeah,
we know
50-man Royal Rumble, which I mean
we
that
got
sounds
Chips
kind of
versus
cool.
Cena.
And Undertaker versus Y2J.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jericho.
We didn't quite mention.
And then Roman versus Lesnar with the title.
Wait, hold on.
Steel cage match.
There was something that we said that we wanted to also talk about during the WrestleMania part when we were recording the beginning part. We said, the Andre the Giant movie.
Yes.
So the Andre the Giant documentary debuted on HBO
April 10th.
Tuesday night.
Yes.
Tuesday night. I went down to my buddy Lee's house to watch it the night that it came on the first time, and then me and Lane watched it together Wednesday night. So I watched it twice now. What'd you think?
It was really good.
Yeah, I agree. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved it. How crazy, man. I mean, like...
Yeah.
how terrible to like have to live that life almost. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, he did so much cool stuff, being like one of the biggest wrestlers in the history of wrestling.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly. But man, what a hard life to live, being that huge. Like at one point, like where it really like makes you like realize like how terrible it was for him. They were talking about how like when he was on an airplane, and he was on an airplane a lot. Like he traveled a lot. He
Yeah.
was, I mean, he was all over the world wrestling all the time. And they said like he could not fit in the bathroom of an airplane because those bathrooms on airplanes are tiny, and he's huge.
Yeah.
So they said that he would go to the back of the plane, and they would like draw a curtain, and then they'd put a damn bucket on. Oops, sorry. They put a bucket on the ground, and he would use the bathroom in the bucket, and then one of the airline employees would have to dump the bucket into the toilet because he couldn't fit in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I mean, how terrible! And just he's such a big guy, such a big guy. But he seemed
There
like
was the part where what was it? Keep talking.
my favorite part of the whole show was when they were talking about his farts. That cracked me up. It was basically Hogan and Vince that were like recalling what Andre the Giant's fart sounded like.
Yeah.
And then you got Vince McMahon, this old, crusty, almost dead looking guy
Yeah.
at this point, sitting there making these crazy, like, blah, 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 noises, mocking Andre's farts.
Yeah.
And that was another thing they said, like, they were on an airplane once and his farts smelled so bad. And they said, like, the pilot's eyes were, like, watering and stuff. And Hogan's like, you're going to kill us because of your fart. You can't fart on a plane like that, Andre.
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny.
I can't think of what I was gonna say.
Gotcha.
I remember it was a part of it, and it was like turning point kind of.
Yeah.
Part.
I loved the whole, the big thing of WrestleMania 3. I loved how, like, you know, Hogan said, like,
I didn't know anything about like him like saying stuff.
yeah.
I never knew they actually did that kind of stuff.
Really?
I just thought that they like practiced it beforehand, and then they just remember what to do and everything. Didn't know he just yelled leg drop.
Yeah,
and pin.
that's kind of how it goes. I mean, it's usually not yelling. It's usually silently talking to your opponent to where the crowd can't see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hogan was talking about how he didn't know what the finish was going to be. Like they went into the ring at WrestleMania 3, the biggest WrestleMania of all time.
Put a
90
question mark by the finish.
Yeah, 93,000 people. For the longest time, it held the record for the largest indoor attendance record.
Yeah.
For the longest time. I think a Rolling Stones concert ended up beating it or something.
What is that still the biggest WrestleMania one though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Didn't
it
it?
was.
I think 30.
Or no, yeah, maybe there was one
I think
recently.
30
that
got
did.
like 110.
But I think that was kind of
like
I think it was like a gray area around it. Like I think they
I'm
kind of
looking-
like.
I'm looking this up.
Oh, no, we don't need to look it up. We'll look it up when we're off air.
Okay.
But whatever. It was a fantastic documentary. If you have HBO, definitely watch it. It was really, really good. It was done very well. All right, so that's it. That's enough wrestling talk, I think, right?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, I'm looking this up. What was I gonna say? Again, it was a part of it that like, what you were talking about, like, made it suck.
You leaving, Liz?
Yep.
Alrighty. So you probably won't be back by 1:30 then?
No way.
Okay. What car are you taking?
Whichever one's at the end.
Oh, I gotta drive the car.
Is the truck at the end?
Oh wait, no, maybe the car is at the end, isn't it?
No, truck. Not the vans at the end.
Which one's the closest to the road?
The truck. I mean, and the van.
The van is back here.
No, the truck is pulled in right next to the door.
Okay, so the car is the closest to the road?
I don't know, is it?
I don't know.
Jesus.
I didn't mean for it to be so confusing.
The truck is closest to the door.
Okay.
Right by the door, closest to the road.
Little
is
itty
what you're
bitty
saying.
car is closest to the road.
Yeah,
Yes.
Alright, so you're taking the Camry.
that's fine.
It was a question mark.
Yeah, 75,100.
WrestleMania 3 was 93,000.
Oh, okay. Dang.
Leaving by.
Love you, bye.
Yeah, I forwarded you a message that his
All right,
mom
last week
sent.
was our. Say that again.
I forwarded you a message that Johnny's mom sent.
Okay, I can't look at it right now because I'm using my phone to stream.
That's fine. It's just letting you know where she's gonna be and what she looks like, and
Okay.
reminding you to bring a towel.
Okay.
Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Are you serious? WrestleMania 32 beat it by like 4,000.
Gotcha.
That is sad.
Yeah, that is sad. Oh, well.
But at least WrestleMania 29 was only like 13,000 away from WrestleMania 3.
All right, ready?
Just put that. Wait, how about Shimu now?
Yeah.
What
Ready?
is this Howdy Inc. stuff? Is that just wrestling podcast and that stuff?
No, yeah, I just want to plug everything.
So
Ready?
you can do that after Shimu, just in the same thing, right?
Just in the outro, probably.
Oh.
Or not the outro, but the outro. Yeah. Ready?
Yep.
Feels like it's actually been a really long time since we've talked about video games.
Yeah, I think
Has it?
so.
So let's talk about video games. Let's talk about the video games that I care about, right?
Yes.
Do you care about this game at all?
Kind of.
Okay.
Not as much as you do, because
Yeah.
I've never actually played it.
And now that's about to change. So we're
Yeah.
talking about Shenmue, one of my favorite video games ever made.
Yeah.
It came out, Shenmue 1 came out for the Dreamcast in, what was it, 99 or 2000 or something like that. A couple years later, Shenmue 2, in the United States, it came out for the original Xbox, but in the rest of the world, it came out for the Dreamcast as well. I played both of them. I never did finish Shenmue 2. I never did beat Shenmue 2.
You could never find the sailors.
No, I think what happened was I definitely found the sailors. It was kind of a timed thing. Like you had to do everything in a certain amount of time, or you kind of missed out on some stuff. And I missed out on some stuff, and then I never restarted the game. But whatever. So those two
Was
games.
it Skyrim where you accidentally killed someone they had to find later?
Yeah, I wasn't able to get a perfect score on the achievements for Skyrim because there was one thing
Yeah.
I killed this wrong person.
That's
So
like just long press of X and you can't beat the game.
I purposely killed the guy though.
Oh,
So
why?
it was a shop owner guy, and I wanted to kill him and take all his stuff. So I stand by my decision. But Shenmue. So Shenmue, I mean, the game was so far ahead of its time. Open world, talking to like all the characters and everything. The storyline was fantastic. The controls, the gameplay, everything about it was just so perfectly done. So a long time has gone by since Shenmue has come out. And then a couple years back at E3, they finally announced that Shenmue 3 was going to be a thing.
Last year, right?
No, I think it was 2015 when they announced it.
No,
so
it was definitely our 2015.
I'm 99% positive
We
it was
were in
2015.
St. Louis. Not St. Louis. We were, where was it?
I don't know. I was at
Where
work.
the big huge strip was?
I don't know. So I
Where
don't,
was that?
I
Because
don't
there was
know,
an
but
E3 there. And there was all the Bethesda stuff, and they announced Fallout 4. It was in the same year that they announced Fallout 4, I remember.
2015, I'm pretty sure. So
It was not, I know
so
that it
we
was
did a
not 2015.
Kickstarter for Shenmue 3. I bought my physical copy for the PS4, which I still don't own a PS4, but we'll get there. So Shenmue 3 became a thing. So once Shenmue 3 was announced and we learned that that was going to come out, a big thing that started going across Twitter and stuff was hashtag Save Shenmue HD. And it was all of us big Shenmue fans always retweeting all of these things from all the place, hoping to get Sega's attention to say, like, look, like, if, especially now, if you're going to release a third game, like, we're talking, like, there's, like, Lane has said, like, you know,
Yeah.
he doesn't know this new game. He doesn't know this game. So for him to start with number 3 would be ridiculous. So everybody, all the Shenmue fans were always trying to, you know, you got to re-release Shenmue 1 and 2. And Sega never really acknowledged it other than saying that if we were to do it, there would be a lot of different rights that we would have to reacquire to be able to put it out and everything. And usually when stuff like that happens, that's usually when a company just doesn't bother with it because it costs more money to obtain rights and
the
everything.
fans are like, I don't care. Like, just release it.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand from
Yeah.
a business standpoint that, but whatever.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, but we just kind of felt that it didn't make sense to release the third game when there's a whole generation of fans that, I mean, because it's an ongoing story. Like, it's not its own game. It's a continuation of the story that started at the very beginning of the first game. So you need the first and second game
Yeah.
to be able to understand what's happening in the third. But I'm honestly, it got to the point now where Shenmue 3 is supposed to come out this year, and I really thought that we were just past the point of Sega caring enough about it to do it, and I didn't think it was going to happen. But they proved me wrong.
Yes.
So Friday night, my buddy Scott from the Unknown podcast sent me a text because I didn't even notice that it happened yet. Sega had a big conference thing Friday night where they announced some stuff. They also announced that they're going to make a little Sega Genesis Mini that is
Was
like...
those only really the two things that were big for that, or did they say anything?
There was another game that they announced
Like
a
Sonic or
sequel to.
something?
No. There was another game they announced a sequel to that I can't remember the name. Obviously, if it was Sonic, I'd remember the name of it. I can't remember what it was though, but people were excited by it. But I can't.
I'm trying to think of Sega games
We'll
that
have to
like people
look it
would be
up, I
excited
don't know.
about for a sequel.
But there's this other company that builds their little Sega Genesis Mini. Like, you can walk into Target right now and buy the little mini Genesis thing. It's been out forever. And it's made by, like, AT Games. AT Games is the name of the company. And I don't own one, but everybody says that it's really, really terrible. That the emulation is terrible, the menus are terrible, that just everything about the Genesis that's in stores now is terrible. Bless you. So then they announced this new one, and everybody was kind of excited about it because the way they made it seem like they were producing it themselves, and that it would be a better version of the one that is in stores now.
Yeah.
But then after the fact, then it kind of came out that At Games is making this one as well. So now people are kind of like, well, that sucks. Hopefully they do a better job,
Yeah.
but that's not what.
Now they're in corporate.
But that's not what
Because now
people
they're
wanted.
in with Sega now, so it's got to be better.
Hopefully. Alright, so but the main thing was that they finally announced that Shenmue 1 and 2 HD remasters are happening. They're going to be sold as a package deal. You don't buy each game. It's Shenmue 1 and 2,
Yeah.
which is perfect. And it is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Which
I feel like
is...
there was one more.
Nope. So that's insanely good news. I mean, for me, the gamer that I am, like that, other than like announcing a new Fire Pro game, like the best thing that you can do is re-release the old Shenmue games. That's the top of
The
my
thing that
list of
sucks
awesome
is
things.
that you're gonna buy these games, and I feel like you're not gonna play them.
I will. I promise I'm going to play them.
I feel like you won't.
No, I'm going to prove everybody wrong on this one. I know that that's my history of buying games and not playing them. But I will play through 1 and 2, and then I'm going to get 3 and play through it. I want us to all play through it together is what I want to do.
I wish there was like co-op. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean,
like-
I just want us to be able to
I
sit
want
down
that.
together.
Okay, A Way Out came out like 2 weeks ago. Do you know?
Is that
have we
the
talked about
prison
this?
one?
Yes.
Yeah, Lee bought that game.
I want that so much.
Yeah. He said it's about 6 hours of gameplay, and he said it is really fun.
Yeah.
It
About
has
8
to be.
hours.
He said he got through it in about 6.
Oh.
So, but he said
Who
there's
did you play
absolutely. He played with his dad for half of it, and then his dad left, and then he finished it with his kid, and it was his kid's first M-rated game that he's played.
Well, yeah, this
But he's like, I gotta finish the game, man. He
really
was the
just
only
because
one that
of
played it.
language is really why it's on the
Yeah,
app.
but that game does look cool. I think it's just for PlayStation, right?
Yeah. PlayStation, PC.
Gotcha. So
Might be for Xbox.
I don't think it is, but I don't know for sure.
I think it might be.
So back to Shenmue. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to say other than that's it. They're finally releasing it. So it said 2018. One of the kind of the weird things is that it is coming out for Xbox One because Shenmue 3 is not coming out for Xbox One that we know of. As of right now, it's just announced that it's coming to PS4 and PC.
Yeah.
So when the Kickstarter was a thing, I spent $60 on a physical copy for PS4 because I don't have a computer that is going to be able to play Shenmue 3. So even though I don't have a PS4 either, but it's a lot easier to get a PS4 than it is decent
new
computer. So I think maybe what's happening is maybe Shenmue 3 will be a timed exclusive on PS4. I think Sony kind of helped them with backings with some money and stuff. So I think maybe that included a timed exclusive, and then eventually they'll announce that it is also coming for the Xbox. But it's probably in their contract that they're not allowed to say that it's coming for Xbox as well right now.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they're going to put Shenmue 1 and 2 on Xbox, then it only makes sense that 3 would be as well. Because one of the first things that I said was that I know that I'm buying Shenmue 3 for PS4, so I think I want to buy Shenmue 1 and 2 for PS4, because I'd like to have all 3 games on the same console.
I would also like to play it, like, those games too, and I like the Xbox controller a lot more than the PS4 controller.
Okay.
So,
my thought is that I want to buy it for both. I mean, I want to own it for both, because that's one of the situations
I just don't like the
where
analogs at the bottom. It's just how
you're just not used to it. You're just used to the Xbox.
It's just like, it's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, most people definitely prefer the PlayStation controller over the Xbox.
Where do you put your hands?
But yeah, it would have been nice for it to come to the Switch also, if we're being honest. I think
that would be nice.
I think Shenmue 1 and 2 would be perfect games for the Switch, since they're not like new, really graphic intense games and stuff. Yeah, so. I think it would have been a perfect opportunity for the Switch. So so there's one of those situations where, you know, third-party support for the Switch just isn't there, and I think we're just going to keep seeing more and more and more of that happening, which sucks. But that's it. I mean, I guess really, so there is no specific release date quite yet. It said 2018. I have watched the little 1-minute trailer.
Sure.
It just said 2018.
Oh, okay.
I've watched the little trailer thing so many times now. I've probably watched it at least 20 times. All the way
Trying
through.
to find something.
No, I just love watching it.
Oh.
It makes me so happy to see it. I showed Lane the trailer, and luckily Lane was cool about it. He was like, "Ooh, okay." So he was like, "It's either Fire Pro or Shenmue, right?" And I was like, "Well, yeah." And then I turned it on, and the sounds of it were obviously Shenmue. I showed it to Tyler.
I knew it because of the beginning was him like by the dojo, and I knew that it was Shenmue. Yeah,
and so that made me happy, because I mean, it was obviously Shenmue, but you knew that it was Shenmue 1. I showed the video to Tyler, and Tyler, the entire time until it got to the end of the video, he thought it was a Shenmue 3 trailer. And so I was
That's some bad quality for Shenmue 3.
Yeah, for sure. So I was happy that you knew at least that it was Shenmue 1 right off the bat. So I cannot wait to play them. And it says that it has classic controls and modern controls, so I'm not exactly sure what the translation is going to be, the difference between those are going to be. But I mean, it was on a Dreamcast controller originally, so I guess
I don't even know what a Dreamcast controller looks like.
Oh, just big, ugly, and just
like the Duke.
Ish. Yeah. The Duke is what I played Shenmue 2 on the Xbox.
How?
So.
And you didn't finish that game, did you?
I did not.
Okay.
It wasn't because of the controller, though.
I know.
So that, and then it'll also
Might
have.
Been, though. You never know. Maybe you couldn't go as fast because your controller was so heavy.
Maybe. And then it'll also have English and Japanese
subtitles.
No, not subtitles. Actual language.
Is the subtitles probably? I'm guessing those.
I would assume so. Yeah. It might be kind of fun playing through it in Japanese with English subtitles. I think that might be kind of fun to do.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, I think so, maybe. So that's it. Shenmue 1 and 2 out sometime this fall. I hope it releases enough time before 3. Yeah, like I don't want them all to come out at the same time, because then I'm going to want to play 1 and 2, but I want to play 3.
It would also make no sense for them to do 1 and 2 after 3. Like,
no, definitely not after 3.
That would not do anything.
I'm just worried that they're going to do it all at the same time, and I hope that's not the case, because I want to put the time into 1 and 2 before I go to 3. Like,
and also, I feel like that's going to hurt 3, right?
Potentially, yeah. So, I mean, I hope they've got it figured out to where they understand that that's how
people are going to be
like,
oh, I want to play 1 and 2 again, but because of that, I don't have enough money to buy 3.
Yeah.
So let's buy 1 and 2 for right now, and then once we're done with that, I'll play 3. 6 months later, okay, let's buy 3.
Both of the releases, 1 and 2, and then also 3, they all just say 2018 at this point. And they haven't. When they announced 2018 for Shenmue 3, like, I mean, I did not believe that it would happen whatsoever. I still thought it would be delayed and it would still maybe be
I
another
think
year
what
or
they're
so.
gonna do
But
is
they have not, they've been saying 2018 for months now. And even with the announcement of 1 and 2, they're still maintaining the 2018 release date. So maybe a fall release.
I think Shenmue's gonna come out in winter, and 1 and 2's gonna come out like August area.
Yeah. Fall for Shenmue 1 and 2, and then Christmas for Shenmue
Because
3,
they
I think would make the most
because
sense.
1 and 2 isn't like in development. They just have to like put up quality and get rights and stuff, and then they
Yeah.
can release it.
Yeah.
With 3,
Well, I mean,
it's a whole new game.
Yeah, it is.
So they do
but
have
it
to have
still
a little bit more
takes,
time.
you know, you still got to be able to port the game over and stuff. I mean, there's still work that's involved.
But it's
and
not as much
updating it
work as
from
making a whole new game.
It is not. No, definitely it is not. But it is still a job to make it happen. So one of the big things that they were talking about the rights to, like with Shenmue, with the original games, like they had so much cool little stuff like in the game. It was designed after 1980s Japan, and they did a really, really good job of like recreating that world. So a lot of the advertisements and stuff that were in the game were like real things that you saw like in cities in Japan. Like you could walk up to a Coca-Cola machine and buy a Coca-Cola in the game. And that might be something that they take out of the new game because they don't want to get the rights to it. It'll probably just say cola now or something like that, which is whatever. It doesn't have to be
For
exactly
people who have
the same.
played, they're like, oh, a while ago that was Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Or maybe this time it'll be Pepsi. Somebody made a joke on Twitter. Maybe they'll get Pepsi to do it this time. Who knows? But then there was
I wouldn't be
also
shocked.
one of the most fun parts about Shenmue was when you were in like the big city, there was an arcade that you could go into, and you could walk up to the daggone arcade and play them, and it would become a full screen game, and you would play the game. And it had Afterburner, which was they were all Sega games because Sega made the game. There was Afterburner. Crap, what else was? I can't believe there was like 2 or 3 of them. I can't believe I don't remember the other ones. But it was like a full like emulation game like within a game.
That's so
And
cool.
it was so awesome. So I hope that's something that they don't get rid of on this one. Like if they don't have a Coca-Cola machine, that's whatever. I don't care what it says on
Because
the
you don't
pop
need rights
machine.
to that because you
Yeah.
are Sega, and those were Sega games.
So, but they've talked about in the past how emulation within emulation is really hard to do.
Yeah.
For instance, if you play...
But if they were able to do it in the 90s and early 2000s, they can do it in 2018.
I would think so too. But the way that like Microsoft and PlayStation talks about the way that emulation is done on their consoles now, they make it seem like it's the hardest thing in the world to do. Like if you use the Dreamcast emulator on your Windows PC, you can play Shenmue, not at perfect quality by any means, but you can play it. But one of the things is that those emulation things, like playing Afterburner and stuff like that, that does not work. You can't, if you go and you try to play Afterburner on Shenmue on the Dreamcast emulator, it crashes your game.
Yeah.
It can't handle it. So, which is weird.
An emulator in an emulator.
Yeah, so it can't handle it. So
That's
hopefully...
probably why, because it's an emulator in an emulator.
Right.
So I think if it's a game and then there's an emulator
But
in
the thing is, the way that like Xbox and stuff is putting like their 360 games on the Xbox One, it's essentially an emulator. So
it is.
So there is kind of the potential for that to be a problem. So I hope
Your Xbox
that
turns
that's
into an Xbox 360.
yeah. So I hope that that's not a problem. I can deal with some of the different rights of like the different things like Coca-Cola or whatever. I don't care about that. But some of the other thing is too, like you could collect these, like you know when you go into a restaurant and they have those little things where you put the 2 quarters in and it gives you out the little bubble thing, the little plastic bubble with the little figure in it. That was something you could do in Shenmue, was to collect all these little figures, and they were all kinds of different Sega characters. Also, they had Sonic, they had all kinds of different ones that you could collect. So they shouldn't have problems
Shenmue is
with...
the king of Easter eggs.
I mean, there was a lot of different stuff like that, yeah. But whatever. I would assume that would be something that will still be in it because it was all Sega stuff that you could get in the first place. So,
And that's not an emulator, that's just...
yeah, right.
That's an Easter egg, that's what that is.
Yeah, so it was so fun. Just stupid little stuff like that just made Shenmue so much fun, though. So I can't wait to start collecting those figures again
Yeah.
and looking for sailors and all the other jokes that everybody makes about Shenmue, which I get, but
The only jokes that I get is just the sailors.
that's
one.
the one that everybody makes is the figures and the sailors. Usually the sailors is the joke, which is okay because it was really funny the way that he went up and asked everybody, "Have you seen any sailors?" So can't be mad at somebody for making that joke.
Yeah.
However, the games are like the greatest games ever made. So
What is your number one game ever?
Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Okay.
The most fun I've ever had with a video game is Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Did you know that there was like a speed run of that in like 10 minutes?
Yeah,
It's freaking crazy.
yeah. I think it was like 12 or 13 minutes to be
Something like
exact, but yeah,
Mike Tyson can't even beat Mike Tyson.
no. Well, that's because Mike Tyson ain't a video gamer.
Yeah. You tried on Jimmy Fallon and he
Yeah.
died immediately.
Yeah, that's my favorite of all time, but like right up there with it is Shenmue and Fire Pro. Like those have been staples of mine for obviously for a very long
My
time.
favorite game is probably gonna be Rocket League, is what I'm guessing.
Oh Jesus, what a terrible
Maybe
favorite game.
maybe Overwatch.
Also terrible favorite game. Get creative with it. Come
The
on.
rest Sunset Overdrive.
Come on.
That's a good game.
Okay, yes, it's a game that you put a little bit of time into. Also,
Absolutely.
side note, it came up on my time hop maybe 3, 4, 5 days ago or something that our Xbox One is 3 years old now. Can you believe we've had that thing for 3
That's
years?
why we need to buy a PS4 now. Because
know.
our Xbox One's gonna crap out any second. now.
It's hey, shut up! Don't jinx us. But yeah, I mean, I got to get a PS4 here soon-ish before these Shenmue games start coming out. So I don't know if I'll buy one new. I think I might buy one off of like Facebook Marketplace, like buy a secondhand one or something, because I don't want to spend a ton of money on it. I just don't.
At least you're not spending $500 on an Xbox One X.
No, I won't be doing that. So that's it. So Shenmue this fall or winter, I guess we don't know. Sometime this year, Shenmue 1 and 2 and 3. So when all of that comes out, you know we'll be talking about that again. I can't wait to play it and talk about it and all that good stuff. Maybe we could stream it. Maybe we could play it together and like stream it or something.
What, Shenmue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, we can, because PS4 is way easier to stream with.
Yeah. So
Like
I think.
it's 1,000%, and you can stream on YouTube
Yeah.
also and on it.
Gotcha. You can't do that on the Xbox.
Yeah. And you can put the little thing like
That
in
was a
the,
question mark. You can't put
yeah,
that.
yeah, you cannot.
Okay.
And like you can actually like put the little like you know how on there the Twitch bar is like at the
Yeah.
very bottom,
Yeah.
like which is the most inconvenient place for it to be.
Yeah.
So for this, it's up top,
Okay.
up on top right.
Throwing this out there, I mean, just while we're on the topic of video games, I've been playing a decent amount of Fortnite on my phone here lately, which is very out of character for me because I haven't really put.
Because you said Fortnite, now about to get like 1 million views.
Yes. Like I mean, I haven't put time into mobile gaming like since I was really into Angry Birds. I have made it very clear that I.
Remember Flappy Bird?
Yeah, sure do. I played Flappy Bird. I got like 23 on Flappy Bird. But I mean, I've made it very clear that I hate the way that mobile gaming has gone with all of the microtransactions and everything. So I've completely just shied away from mobile gaming altogether. I can't stand it anymore. But Fortnite came out and like my buddy Dave was playing it, and I mean I know you and Tyler had played it before. And then I'm always a sucker for if a game needs an invite to be able to play it, I'm always like, I can get that invite. And usually I do. And
Some people have like 3 invites. Like
you
oh,
get
yeah.
3 invites. Once
yeah.
you get into the game, it gives you 3 invites.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's super hard to come by the
Yeah.
invites or whatever.
Because
But-
you have to just get your friend to get it, and
Yeah,
then
you just gotta know somebody that knows somebody kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then you can also just go sign up on their website for it as well. I
Yeah.
did that. I did that at the same time that Dave got into it, and he got his code to give me faster than the Epic got it to me. Yeah. So, but whatever. But I've been playing it, and I
did
like the
you
game a lot.
know-
I think it's a lot of fun. It really is a cool game, and it's cool that you can do the cross play on it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed playing. I've been enjoying playing.
Did you know that Epic Games helps Psyonix in making Rocket League?
No. Did not. Why isn't there Rocket League mobile? Why isn't that on the
Because
phone?
that would be awful. That'd be the.
If you can have 100-person battle royal game, why
But
can't
there's
you
not
have...
that many buttons. Those forward, back, arrow, boost, jump, move, drift, scoreboard, Just all kinds of buttons.
And boring and redundant, and don't forget those buttons. Stupid Rocket League. Anyway, Fortnite's fun. I got 2 invites left. If anybody wants them, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to play with you. So, anything else?
Nope.
I think that's it.
Yes.
Shenmue! Alright, let's finish this up so you can go get something to eat. So you need swim trunks and a towel.
We're gonna have to check what that actual message was, so then we can.
I think it's just her saying where she will be at.
Well, you still.
Whose
need
party are you going to?
Johnny's.
Who's that?
Johnny Crawford.
Who's that?
What?
I thought you were going to Jeremiah's.
No.
Is this Jeremiah's friend?
No.
Jeremiah going?
Yes.
Because when I picked you up, you said I'll see you tomorrow. So that's what made me think, for some reason. Whatever.
Well,
Alright.
because he's also going.
I understand that now. I was just confused. Alright, ready?
Yep.
Alright, I think that's pretty much all we got for you this week. Wrestling and video games. That sounds about right.
And now we gotta plug in all our
We
Howdy
gotta
Inc. stuff.
plug all kinds of stuff now. So, the Unknown Wrestling Podcast made its debut last weekend during Podcast Mania.
Yes.
We did our first episode Sunday night. It's available on iTunes now. It's available on Android now.
I still need to listen to it before I go into the show. Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Even if I do.
Yeah. So that's available everywhere, and that's available at unknownwrestlingpodcast.com.
Jesus, pod.
Nope. unknownwrestlingpodcast.com. It is on Twitter.
What did I say last week? Did I say podcast and
I
you
don't
said
know,
pod?
but don't confuse me because I got it going on right now. I know what I'm talking about. unknownwrestlingpodcast.com is where that's at. On Twitter, it is UWPod, stands for Unknown Wrestling Podcast. UWPod on Twitter. Or you can just do all of this crap at howdyinc.com is the easiest, simplest way to do it, which going forward, from now on, I just want to be like, it's all at howdyinc.com, because that's the hub for all of it, and it's all there. So there's that show, which is awesome. I think our first episode went really well, and we're going to keep that one going. Then we've got the Unknown Podcast, the one with me and Scott and Smoothie and sometimes Taggart and Aaron and Kyle and whoever else wants to join. It's a really fun show. If you haven't checked out last week's episode, I think it's our best episode that we have done yet. It was really fun. It was a great episode. So that one...
Who said that the first CD that they bought was the Men in Black soundtrack?
I don't remember. Was that Scott or was that Taggart?
I think it was Scott.
Aaron? I don't remember.
It was somebody, but it was really stupid.
Yeah, the Men in Black soundtrack. Yeah, you gotta go listen to that. So that one is at the Unknown Pod on Twitter, and theunknownpod.com is where that's at. Or just go to howdyinc.com and download it there. And then we've got our show as well. Our show is still the best one out of all.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yes, so we got 3 pretty awesome shows running on howdyinc.com now, which is pretty awesome, I think. Good for us.
Yeah.
We're kicking butt. You
And
should start another podcast. You should start a spin-off podcast that you are the main host of, with one of your friends or something like that is a Howdy Inc. show.
I don't know.
Yep.
I'll think about it.
Okay then, or you and your brother should do a show together. That would be cool.
That sounds awful.
Little Howdies.
No, thank you.
That'd be awesome. Alright, so that's it. Go to howdyinc.com and
The Adventures of Captain
watch
Fatbelly.
and listen and
That should be your
comment
spin-off show. The Adventures of Captain Fatbelly.
Aw, that was mean.
But it was the Practical Jokers joke.
Oh, okay. I'm so tired of Impractical Jokers.
That was a good joke.
Okay, that was a good joke. Alright, thanks for listening, watching everybody. WrestleMania, Shenmue, good week this week. I enjoyed this episode.
Yes.
So we'll be back probably next week for episode 32. We're trucking right along, man.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Not really.
Alright, I gotta go take Lane to a birthday party, so see y'all next week.
That was stupid freaking intro. You got this.
Mm-mm.
You sure?
Yep. Alright, ready? You do the intro. Okay, no?
I don't know what to say.
Say something.
The intros suck.
No, you've said that basically before.
Well, you say that every week.
Okay, so come on. We gotta go. How about I don't know. Want to tell a joke again? Remember when you used to tell jokes?
Sure. I don't know, but I got
No. If we do it on there, it'll take 8 years. I liked when we did the jokes.
You didn't do that for that long. We only did it for like two or 3 weeks.
How about, can a kangaroo jump higher than a house? Of course, a house doesn't jump at all.
That makes sense. That's fun.
Okay, here's our joke. Ready?
Oh, I was watching this.
So you
video.
say, can a kangaroo jump higher than a house? And I'll say, I don't know, can a kangaroo jump higher than a house? And then you say, of course, a house doesn't jump at all. Ready?
Hey, Dad, can a kangaroo jump higher than a house?
I don't know. Can a kangaroo jump higher than a house?
Of course, a house doesn't jump at all.
Oh. There we go.
I was watching this video. These guys were playing Overwatch. He was like, "Oh, pilot, I have to tell you, I have Ebola foods for you. Have a nice flight." So stupid. Yeah, it's funny. If I were named what?
Oh, this should have been what's up.
Oh.
Not intro. Alright. How do I stop it?
I have no idea.